So, I got a question for you. Did you ever think, especially when you were a teenager, that you knew more than your parents? I did. I'm pretty sure everyone I've talked to has had the same thought at some stage. I'm a youth leader, and I'm always talking to our kids that they think they know what they're doing. They think they know what's going on. They think they know how to how to live life, and that doesn't always line up with what their parents think is the case. I mean, parents just make up rules. They put boundaries in place just to ruin the fun. Yeah, Dad's nodding behind the camera. But the fact is, that's not the case. They put rules and boundaries in place because they want to protect us and because they care about us. Now here's another question. Have you ever thought, man, life would be so much simpler and easier if I didn't have to worry about God and His way of living, about God and His rules and the boundaries that He's put in place? You know what? It probably would be simpler and it might feel a little bit easier. You know, I used to work at Nolan's Abattoir in Gympie, and I can tell you that there was no one really except me living within God's boundaries there. And it would have been simpler, in my mind, to live outside those boundaries as well, so I could fit in better. So I'd probably find a lot of their jokes funny and things they did. It would be so much easier to be around people like that. But this is a common thought, and it's commonly acted on. We see that all the time. People go, life's easier, I don't want to have to worry about rules or boundaries, so I'm going to live things my own way. I'm going to do things the way I want to. No one else can tell me what's right and wrong. It's going to be simpler and easier if I just do what I want to do. And that's what we're looking at in this story. The younger son decided that he knew better than his dad did. And so he decided to act on it. In Luke chapter 15, when Jesus is telling the story, he said there was a man who had two sons. The younger one said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had. He set off to a distant country and there squandered his wealth in wild living. So we go through this part verse by verse. The younger son is telling, he's not even asking his father for his inheritance. He's telling me, I want it. I want it now. And what that is saying is that he's saying to his dad, you're dead to me. Because they would only get their inheritance, they would only start discussing the inheritance when their father was dead. And so by telling him, I want it now, he's saying, you're dead to me, I'm cutting it all off. Then goes to verse 13. It says, he got together all he had, he set off for a different country. It shows his resolve, his decision to completely cut himself off from his father. He decided to go live with the Gentiles, so he was also cutting himself off from his whole culture and way of living that he'd grown up with. He's cutting himself off from his whole heritage, as well as his family. He squandered his wealth in wild living. What he's basically saying by his actions is stuff your boundaries, stuff all your rules. I'm going to Vegas, I'm going to party. That's what he was doing. This is my life, I'm doing it my way. And that's what he was saying by his actions. But here's the thing. God has given us free will to choose. And sometimes we basically choose to give him the finger and say, you're dead to me, I'm doing things my way instead. And as much as it hurts him, he lets us, because he has given us that choice as ours that we have to make.